Okay, right. Dino, welcome to Turbo Talk.
When we set this up, I was thinking that had we ever met, and I don't think we have. So it's pretty cool to do this over video. I was thinking I might have met Gareth at the Rouleur show, where I meet so many people, and half the time on a Thursday everybody's pissed. Good to be asked to do this. So thanks a lot.
And I've never been riding my bike with Dino Downey, but give me the story how cycling started.
Oh wow, well yeah, I'm from a cycling family. Brother Russ, obviously everybody knows Brother Russ. Dad was a cyclist. Ken, our granddad. Cyril had 4 brothers, and this is like 40s and 50s we're talking about. Yeah, cycling's big in our family, has been for generations. So I started racing when I was 8 years old, as did Russ a few years later.
I'm from a cycling family as well. My granddad, he took up cycling just after the war, and it was their way to kind of escape from the problems that the war had created. So what was it like growing up?
We used to have some great times. Me and Russ used to just race our bikes. In 1983, I was 8 years old, and I'd started racing on grass tracks, and I did a under 14s handicap race. I went and won. Got a great picture at home that it's like me just coming across the finishing line, no expression, and these bigger lads behind me second. Then on to juniors. I was a junior in 1993, a long time ago.
How different is cycling in the UK now?
It was a bit of a niche sport. 2008 for me, it really changed in the public eye that cycling became prominent at the Olympic Games, really, when they were winning medals left, right and centre.
Your relationship with your brother seems really strong. You and Russ, you push each other, but also I kind of think you support each other as well.
We've been close since we were kids. Russ helped me massively when I said, right, I'm not going to work anymore. I want to give cycling a go. So Russ gave me massive advice there. Like, well, I'm not under 23. I was like 25 at the time. What can I do, Russ? He's like, well, give it a go and go to Belgium. It's your best option. Off I went to Belgium, and Russ helped me massively with that decision. And then since that point, we got closer as bike riders because we were both doing the same races. We thought the same quite a lot. So Russ would attack when I wanted to attack to win the race, or vice versa. But yeah, it was pretty cool riding winning the British Madison Champs together in 2003. That was cool. Which then got us onto the GB track team, where we went to the Worlds in 2004.
Russell Downing in front, moving up on the outside.
2 brothers from Thurcroft Mining Village raced the World Championships together and got like 10th or 11th. That's a pretty cool thing to do with your brother.
Your racing career was kind of at its height pre-2008. You feel like you were born a bit too early.
It does make me think a little bit, but I'm also very proud of what I did. Can't turn back the clock or fast forward it, for example. There's a lot of very good British famous cyclists now in the world. It's good to have those guys as, friends, so.
You did a lot of racing in Belgium, doing their criteriums, FMS racing. Then you came over to the UK and you just kind of smashed out nearly every criterium. Did you learn your craft in Belgium?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I learned how to suffer. I learned how hard to train. The racing there was fast, very fast. Every single crit was like 45 k's an hour. Every single kermesse was like that as well, for 120k. So yeah, I learned how to push myself. Came back to the UK and joined the Rafa Condor team, which was the start of it all for me properly.
You were a very punchy rider. I mean, was it in 2002 you won the British National Circuit Race Championship?
And what that did, it kind of put me in the UK public eye a little bit more. In 2003, I was champion for the whole year because it was in September the following year. The whole season, I was British crit champ in Belgium, which was just so cool. I was getting paid €50 to go to a start of a amateur crit race.
What was it like to win the crit championships again in 2008 with Rafa Condor?
To win it in 2008 when everything was kicking off in a good way for cycling. I remember it vividly. Somebody in the break said, shit, Hales is coming across. And I was like, right, okay, if Hales is coming across, I've got to go. I don't want Rob Hales here. He's like world class, So I hit the break of 5 or 6 riders with 2 to go. Got a gap. And coming up the finishing straight, I remember vividly saying to myself, do not look back, do not look back. Because Chris Newton, at that era, was my teammate, he always used to have a go at me. Just look back too much, Dino, you look back too much. And I had that in my head. So I never looked back and just drove it to the line. And I got to the line and I knew I'd won, so I put my hands up. But literally the bunch came flying past me. And I beat Rob Hales into second. So that was a big turning point for me as well, British cycling wise, because the year after the Tour Series came along, lots of televised criterions. I was British Crit Champ, but the Olympics came along like the week after the championships. Wigo, Chris Hoy, Vicky Pendleton, the boys in the Team Pursuit. It just put cycling UK on the map, which was pretty good. So yeah, that was a good day. That was
Massive. What's it like going from being a professional cyclist to then becoming a coach, where it's no longer about your performance and your results, it's about helping other people achieve their best performances and their best results? What's that like?
Currently, it's amazing. Taking me 5 years to get where I am. But yeah, back in 2014, when I stopped racing, and Yatesy at the end of September said to me, they've been trying to get me on board as a new coach on Train Sharp, and I was like a bit unsure because I've never done it before. I've been qualified as a British cycling coach. That's all like pretty much like admin and paperwork, really. So Yatesy persuaded me to give it a go with Train Sharp. So they helped me massively in the first 2 to 3 years. I learned a hell of a lot about data and planning and how to weigh different types of riders, physiology of riders. I learned a hell of a lot in 3 years with Train Sharp, which I'm massively grateful to, and then took it out on my own with Downing Cycling 2 years ago. It's dead exciting to put plans together and get people in the right mindset for their races, but then take it to another level of getting people in the right mindset for the Tour, for example. It's a massive, massive event for somebody who's not a pro cyclist, who's been working hard around full-time job, full-time family, minimal hours. How do they get the best out of themselves? So that's what's really exciting. I've got a really good mix of different types of riders that I work with.
How do you feel as a coach when they put their hands in the air, or when they feel proud of a performance that they've made?
I feel fortunate that I've worked with some, and still do work with some fantastic riders. So currently working still with Alice Barnes, double British champion last year. I was there that day when she won the time trial. I followed her in the car with her parents. That was just mad. It was great. I was stood at the side of the road watching her and got invited to jump in the car, so I did. And to see her empty the tank, and she said, "Oh, how have I done?" When she sat on the ground, and I said, "Just won." It was pretty good. Working with Ben Tulett, everybody knows that I was Ben's coach for 3 years. It was, and then when he signed with the Alpecin team, he got passed over to their coaching team. To be there and see him win the World Championships Cross Juniors twice was insane. It's quite possibly one of the best days of definitely best day of my cycling coaching career, that's for sure. I had one guy who came to me to work for the Yorkshire Dales, and he took 30 minutes off his time from the previous year.
Whoa.
That was really cool when he rang me and said, "I can't believe I've taken 30 minutes off my time." But stuff like that is really, really cool. It's not winning the bike races, about the massive progression that they can make.
Let's use Alice as a case study, Alice Barnes. So how did you help her kind of step it up to national champion level?
It's a hard one because, like, Alice, she knows so much. She's been around, so she's got so many people around her that help her, like strength and conditioning coaches within British cycling. She's on one of the world's best teams, which has advice there all the time. But she just said that she'd self-coached herself for a couple of years. I had a proper conversation with her at the World Champs in Innsbruck. What we ended up doing is structuring her training so she didn't get really big spikes, tiredness, and then crack and then get ill. And so in 2019, she wasn't ill at all. Generally, before, she'd be like, "Oh no, I'm going to go out with the GB boys and push myself," and she put herself in a hole. So we just put a lot more structure, a lot more power data training, worked on her time trialing, testing her out on the road, seeing what she could do for 20 minutes, for example. moving that up, and just working a lot closely, and it hopefully instilled a bit more belief in what she could do. So we just all worked together for Alice, really.
In this day and age, there's so many apps to help amateur cyclists, to help professional cyclists build their own structure, build their own routines, to create their own training program. What are the benefits of actually investing in a proper coach?
So it's a tough question because there's lots of coaches out there. There's lots of great coaches out there, and everybody's different. It's kind of like all about like managing the riders' expectations. Also, when they're up, it's dead easy. You know, when Ben was winning races, when Alice wins races, great. When Alice or Ben or anybody else is on a bit of a downer, what do you do then? It's a whole package of coaching, not just a training plan for the month. I really enjoy all the contact that I have with all my coach riders, whether it be on the phone, on video call, or meeting up with some of them when I'm at races, etc.
What makes you unique as a coach? You know, the difference between, say, me using Zwift as a training platform and me having a coach like yourself behind me. You know, what's the difference?
The experience of being a bike rider.
Yeah.
And I can put my experience in there of them feeling like crap, but they didn't hang on. What can they do? It's about believing yourself a bit more. The week after, when they do another race and they hang on, they go, "Oh, remember, I can do this." You know, Dean says I can do this, so they hang on, and then they go and win the bike race, or they get a podium. Whereas last week they couldn't hang on because they didn't believe in themselves. Yeah, I feel fortunate that I've got, you know, a bit of everything. I've learnt about the science over the years.
In 2015, didn't you have quite a serious crash, quite a serious road incident?
I've had quite a few crashes in my cycling career as a racer. But then in 2015, I'd stopped racing and I was out with the lads on a Friday run bike ride, coffee and cake type run, and cruising back into a village, and a van came really close by. I hit a bollard, but I hit it with my knee, and I bust my cruciate ligament. And I bust my medial ligament, like there and then. I knew something was wrong. Gus says, "Come on, get up." I was like, "I can't." Everything just stopped in the line. I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to ride my bike. That was the start of a few, quite some big problems personally for me. That was a tough time, to be fair.
How did you bounce back from that? How did you get to where you are today?
A lot of good friends, family, help. Good network of people behind me or at the side of me, you know, saying it'll be all right. But at the time, it's not all right because you're not earning any money. You've got a wife and 2 children to look after. And that's what the whole spiral downwards was. It was like money orientated. Wasn't earning any money. Wasn't able to provide. But also as well, I always felt like this is what happened. I was outside of the cycling limelight. So I picked up the phone to John Herity at the end of 2015, and John gave me a lifeline of a few months' work in the middle of the summer, which was great, and that kept me in the limelight. So people like John helped me massively. But during that period, it was still pretty shit. I was 40 in 2015, so I ended up randomly going to the doctors for a health checkup. In the end, I walked out with some antidepressant tablets.
Wow.
Yeah, so just because he went through the questions with me, he recognised the signs of how you're feeling after stopping sports. He knew me well enough. He did settle down and feel a bit better, and 2017 was great. But yeah, then self-belief with all the people that helped me to move everything forward and get back to working hard and going, just hitting my own personal goals of staying fit, building my own business. So yeah, all the help that everybody gave me around that time frame has pushed me on.
Yeah, I think when times get tough, you realise how strong the cycling community is. I find that when times get tough, you need to be on your bike, peddling out your problems. But if you can't constantly be on it, surely that's a big challenge.
Over the last 2 or 3 years, my weight has gone up and down, up and down. When I was depressed, I used to drink a lot in the house. And I'm safe enough in my own house because nobody can see. But my wife sees it, my kids see it. So I put a lot of weight on because I wasn't riding and I was drinking. And that just sends you into a spiral again. So you have to snap out of that sometimes with chats with your friends. I just go on and off all the time. Still do today. I had a big accident in 2017, July as well, on the chain gang.
I didn't know
I bust
that.
I bust my collarbone again
Oh,
through just rushing around to go out with the lads. There was like Swifty was there, Tom Stewart, Russ, Briggsy. It'd be an awesome laugh. It'd be good fun. I haven't seen him for ages. One lad hits a big hole in front of me, and I hit it as well, and it split my collarbone in half, bust 2 ribs, and punctured a lung. Now that sent me downwards again, but I was in a good place because I had several coach riders. They knew about it. I spoke to them. They were fine with that. So I had income coming in. So that didn't cross my mind at all. All it was that I had to repair myself and get better. So it was a bit of a different situation to the 2 years previous. But it did make me think about, I didn't want to ride my bike anymore. I had a few beers over Christmas, put a bit of weight on. And then at the start of this year, I was like, I need to start riding my bike again. Set myself some training plans to do on Zwift. The last 9 weeks, I've got a hell of a lot fitter. But it's been good for my mindset. Yeah, cycling's a great motivator for fitness, but it's good for your head as well.
but why is cycling so good for our heads and not just our bodies?
It's a bit mad because in the last 9 weeks, I've only been outside. This was before the lockdown. So I love riding outdoors, but also as well, I wanted to be fit. So how do I be fit and fit that in around my family and my work? Like I work over there in my office, but like jumping on my watt bike for an hour and doing a set to progress is really good, even if it's indoors. You know, it makes me feel good, releases some endorphins, and I can see my own progress. Some people do say, oh, you should get outside. Why don't you come out with the lads? And I'm like, well, I can't. I haven't got enough time to ride 2-3 hours with the lads on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I know what I can do. It's good for my head, fit it around my business, around my family.
You said the word progress, and I know that progress is the thing that keeps me healthy. The feeling that I'm achieving something.
Yeah, and everybody's progress is personal. And I get this with some people that I know. They're like, God, did you see all the boys' Sky Ineos numbers up out just there? Insane. That can't be right. But if you're thinking about somebody else's progress, then you're doing it wrong. It's got to be about yourself. So if you feel, Gareth, that you are progressing riding your bike, it makes you feel happy. It has to, because you're progressing. It just makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. That's it. You nailed it.
It's been good to chat.
I think the opportunity that I've found is being able to speak to people like yourself and really get to know the cycling community a little bit deeper.
Yeah, that's cool. It's really good what you're doing. Yeah. Who else have you got on lined up?
Tomorrow I've got the great Andy Tennant.
Yeah, he's always been a top class bike rider. Me and Tennant used to room together sometimes on the Rafa team, but also on the Madison Genesis team. It was always a lot of fun. I saw you one with Russ Ellis. He's a friend of mine. I read you one with Yatesy. That was pretty cool. Yatesy's ace, like I said, has been a part of my own progress as a coach. So that's good to be asked to do this. So thanks a lot. 52 minutes and 50 seconds, and we've done 21k.
Nice. More bass. More bass.
I'll catch you later, Gareth. Yeah.
Cheerio.
Yeah, more bass. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Bye bye.
Oh, wow.